Hello, my friends. I have something super exciting to share with you, and that is our genre passport. Don't stress. This is going to be fun. You get to choose the books that you read. You get to choose whether they're picture books or chapter books or audio books or ebooks or print books. There's a lot of choice here, and you get to choose the genres that you're going to read from. But I wanted to share it with you. We are going to be working on this for the entire rest of the school year. So this will be your asynchronous assignment for a while. I will be sharing some other things too as a part of the asynchronous, but this will always be the thing that you get to go back to. But don't fret, you don't have to only do this during library. If you're reading something for fun or for school for one of your other classes, you can use that as a part of this activity also. So what you will see on my screen is the genre passport, Cardinal Ridge Red Wings. That's you, that's me, that's us. Okay, anyway, let's explore genre for the second semester. Select books at a comfortable reading level and a variety of genres. Complete the passport for each genre you read. To get your genre passport stamped, please read at least 2 nonfiction genres and 5 fiction genres by June 4th, 2021. And complete those pages in your passport. And I'm going to show you when you go to the next page, there is a glossary. Okay, this is the genre glossary. And I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. If you don't know what genre your book or your story would come from, please don't hesitate to ask Mrs. Henry or I. Would be glad to help you figure it out. So some of the choices include biography, which is a nonfiction book about a real person. It's a written account of another person's life or lives of real men and women. So another thing is an autobiography, and that's somebody that writes a book about themselves. Informational nonfiction, book with real information or facts intended for teaching and related informational purposes, written to educate rather than entertain. So a lot of us read things like that. Narrative nonfiction, book with real information or facts told as a story intended for teaching and related informational purposes. So that's a nonfiction book that is told as a story. And I'm going to show you where you can find a couple of those in a few minutes. Poetry, that is technically nonfiction also, even if it is about fictional subjects. And that's books with rhyme and rhythm. So, and then we're going into the fiction section. So adventure fiction, which is made up story with exciting events, exciting or very unusual experiences, participation in exciting undertakings or enterprises, a bold, usually risky undertaking, or hazardous action of uncertain outcomes. Oh, adventure. Fairy tales. We know what those are. Stories usually written for children about elves, hobgoblins, dragons, fairies, or other magical creatures. We can have Baba Yaga as a fairy tale. We also have the trickster tales from Native American cultures. There's also, oh my gosh, I'm like forgetting. Oh, I have one in my mind. I can't think of it. I'm going to think of it as soon as we move on. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. We have fantasy books, which are books with characters with magical or special powers. Like it could have talking dolls, toys, or animals. And usually there's some good versus evil conflict. Graphic novels, those are always fabulous. And some graphic novels are fiction and some are nonfiction. But that is going to be a genre. So either one or the other, it doesn't matter. As long as if it's a graphic novel. So this is a story told in a picture or graphic format. Historical fiction. I'm listening to a historical fiction right now, which is an audiobook, and it's pertaining to or treating or characteristics of history. So it's a story which somebody made up, but it's based on things that really happened in the past, so from history. And the one I'm reading about is about the children that were brought to Canada as orphans back in the early 1900s. And it's actually, it made me kind of cry. It was very sad parts of it. And some of it is, good. But anyway, I'm going to come back to the bonus. Humorous fiction is books like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, could be humorous fiction, right? So it's books full of fun, fancy, and excitement, meant to entertain, and humor can be found in all genres. So sometimes you'll have a fantasy book that just makes you giggle all the time. Um, and so sometimes you're like, it's hard to figure out which genre your book is going to end up in. Mystery fiction, those, of course, are books about a mystery. Science fiction is books that contain science or technology as a part of the story. I love science fiction. I read a lot of that. And it could be events from the future, may have robots, space travel, interplanetary war, or invasions from outer space. Okay. And then there's realistic fiction, which is fiction based on what is real. Events and characters are lifelike and usually set in modern or current times. Now, we're going to go back to the bonus. And the bonus could be anything like sports fiction or any genre not listed. And then there's also horror fiction. So if you like scary things, horror fiction might work. And that would be like Goosebumps, right? So horror fiction is scary stories or fiction with events that cause a feeling of fright or alarm in both the characters and the reader. So, and let me tell you, but when you read scary stories, they are scarier than watching a scary story because your imagination knows what frightens you the most, and it's going to like activate that part of your brain. And let me tell you, reading scary stuff is just terrifying, terrifying. Okay. So that's your bonus. So you can do horror fiction or sports fiction or something that I didn't think of. Okay. Now you'll notice that these are all hot linked. So let's say I click on adventure fiction. It's going to take me to the adventure fiction slide, and I'm going to complete this once I'm finished reading my book. Now, the books that you choose can't be something you've already read. It's got to be from this day forward, okay? So the book title, so I would type that in right there. The author, why is the book adventure? What is it that makes it a part of that genre, okay? And then I'm going to do a little reflection. You don't have to answer all these questions. You don't have to answer any of those questions. But right here, I just want you to click to reflect on that book. If you would like to, this is the bonus right here. So this part is required, okay? This is the bonus. And in the bonus section, you may use Google Draw, paper, pencil, or materials of your choice, or you may even find an image someplace on the web and add it to the box below that represents. So you want that image to represent something about that genre, okay? Then you get to rate the genre. You can rate the book if you want, but you can rate the genre, and it's hiding right now. See all those stars? And you're going to rate them by clicking on the star and changing the color. So if you want to give this genre 5 stars, then you're going to click on each of the 5 stars and change the color so it represents giving it 5 stars or whatever. And then you're going to answer, would you read another mystery fiction or whatever the genre is that you've read? Yes or no. Again, you want to click on the box to let you to identify whether you want to read more in that genre or not. Okay. So that is pretty much our genre thing. I want to show you at the very end. Let's see here. Let's go to the last. And at the end, you will earn a certificate, which we will fill out for you. And we're going to have a special badge for everybody that does the required 2 nonfiction, 5 fiction books. Okay. And that special badge you will be able to use it in your on your Schoology page. Okay. Please don't stress. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. So let's say where are we at here? There's CRE library. All right, that's 5th grade. It doesn't really matter. There's 3rd grade. Okay. When you are in your Bitmoji classroom here, if you click on the library and then go to slide 2, you will see there's our library, right? Okay. And see the little world? Because we're going to go to the library webpage, and you find that by clicking on the world or the globe or the planet. And it's going to take you to our website because World Wide Web, right? So we go to the world to find the World Wide Web. And on here is our library webpage. The Red Wing Gallery is where I share your work. So when you send me things that you have done, I post them up in there. And if you keep going down, you see this Virginia Reader's Choice nominees. When I said that you can, when you're choosing your books for your genre passport, you can read um, a print book, you can read an ebook, you can listen to an audiobook, or you can click on our Virginia Reader's Choice nominees, and all these stories are done as read alouds by our very favorite Mrs. Henry, okay? And so she's read all of these books out loud, so you just click on the book and it will do the read aloud for you. Some of them are fiction, some are nonfiction. These are chapter books that you can listen to. So if you need a break from the screen, which we understand, you can choose one of these books. You can turn it on. You can put your headphones on. You can lay down and listen. You can draw pictures while you're listening. You could knit a scarf. Whatever works. Whatever you want to do. Okay? But this counts. So if you listen to one of these books, you can fill out your genre passport entry for the book that you listen to also, okay? So you can read a book, you can listen to a book, and there's lots of choices, and you get to choose the books, okay? Don't forget that part. You get to choose the books, all right? So my friends, that is what we're going to be doing for our asynchronous library times for the next couple months, and there'll be other things added that you can see. Like I'm going to be sharing some of the winners of the Virginia Reader's Choice winners for the last few years as a part of your asynchronous also. All right. I think that's all I have to say. Happy reading.